involved in network marketing was working in real estate. And the only reason I was working in real estate is because my father had partnered up with a gentleman by the name of John Joyce. John was one of my early mentors, and they went into real estate, and they asked me if I would be willing to get my real estate license to show some of the properties that they owned. So I did. And I remember like it was yesterday. It was January of 1988. I'm sitting at my desk in my little real estate office, and John Joyce came up to my desk and said, "Eric, I think I have a way for us to make some extra money." So, which was music to my ears because I needed money desperately. And we got in the car and we drove to his friend's home, and they showed this videotape that explained network marketing. And originally, at the very first, I was uninterested, but I changed my opinion after some discussion and finally decided to get involved in this network marketing profession. And it was one of the moments that changed my life. Getting involved in network marketing gave me a career. It gave me a path to start to run on. And I would love to tell you that my network marketing career was a straight shot to the moon. You know, super successful. I started at the beginning and I immediately started making money, but that really wouldn't be the truth. I struggled. I struggled for my first three and a half years. I'd build my organization and fall apart. I'd build again and fall apart. And I didn't quite know what to do to experience a breakthrough. And I found that one of my mentors told me early on, never miss an event. Whether it's an online event or an in-person event, never miss a convention, a conference. So I listened to that, and I always showed up at events, and I found that events, even events like this, helped to reframe my mind, to tune myself up, and to do what's necessary in order to be able to go to the next level, or at least survive. So I remember sitting at this event 3 years into my network marketing career, and watching speaker after speaker go across the stage, and something clicked in my mind, and I said, what if I decide to become a network marketing professional? Instead of just being a distributor, what if I decide to be a pro? What if I decide to go all out? What if I decide to become an expert? And I got to tell you something. My dominating emotion up until that moment in my network marketing experience, my dominating emotion was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough, fear that I was in the wrong group, fear that I didn't have the right products, fear that I couldn't speak other languages, all kinds of different fear. And when I made the decision to become an expert, the fear left my body. And I said, you know what? I have a plan. I'm going to learn the skills in my mind and in practice. I'm going to learn the skills necessary to become a network marketing professional. And that's what I decided to do. And I will tell you, one thing as we start this session together, it's that decision that will change everything for you. That decision to become a professional, that decision to become an expert is going to change the game for you. So I hope either you're ready to make that decision now, or at some point during this time together, during this GoPro World Tour, you'll be ready to make that decision. Now, for the last 11 years, I've been working as kind of an unofficial upline to the entire network marketing world. I've been a friend, an ambassador, a coach, a trainer. I released the book GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. And GoPro has sold over 3 million copies around the world. A very big percentage of those Spanish speaking. So I hope you've had a chance to read GoPro or listen to the audiobook in Spanish for that book. And that book helped to kind of create a mindset of becoming a professional for more people. And we've produced thousands of videos, and we host big events around the world. And my goal is to raise the bar, raise the professionalism of network marketing around the world, because I believe that while what we do is not perfect, it's still better. It's better than any other form of entrepreneurship in the world, especially with what's going on in the world. People need to have the ability to be able to work from home. So I made the decision to become a professional. I mastered the skills. And one of the biggest things I did is I got coaches. I'm a big believer in coaches. I'm a big believer in virtual learning. I'm a big believer in online courses, online events that I could use to be able to sharpen my game. I believe that time machines actually exist. You know, a time machine that you can step into a time machine and you can immediately be 1 year smarter without being 1 year older. That's a pretty cool thing. That's what a coach can give you. That's what a course can give you. That's what a book can give you. You can read a book. You can take a book like this. You could read a book like this, and you could be 6 months smarter without being 6 months older. That's a pretty powerful thing. That's what I hope this GoPro World Tour is for you, is a little bit of a time machine as we move forward. So let's do this. To start this experience, I want to introduce you to one of my friends. He is one of the most iconic entrepreneurs in the world. He loves network marketing, and he's here to share some ideas with you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Richard Branson.
Screw it, just get on and do it and have a blast. He doesn't know how to dress, does he?
I know, I didn't know where to go with this.
Hang on a minute. What have I got in my pocket? They're not very big, but they're big enough, I think. You have to first of all say, well, what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody who thinks that they have an idea that can improve other people's lives, and then says, you know, screw it, I'm going to do it, and just gets on and does it. You need to surround yourself with brilliant people. And a good entrepreneur tries to find better people than themselves. Being an entrepreneur need not be lonely if you are the kind of person that embraces the team of people around you. I think it's fantastic that 80% of network marketers are women, and network marketing gives so many women the chance to have a family, work from home, make some extra money on the side. All of you are making a real difference to so many women's lives all over the world. In the end, I think the product that you're selling speaks for itself, and I think word of mouth is absolutely key.
You know, you may well fall flat in your face, but then pick yourself up, keep trying until you succeed.
So that's Richard Branson talking about network marketing. And I think, you know, when you listen to some of these great world leaders, it's going to give you a good perspective as to how credible our profession is. And I've got to tell you, what's going on in the network marketing community around the world right now is literally like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've been in this profession for 32 years. I've never seen growth, excitement, momentum like I see right now. And I think for a lot of different reasons. I mean, one of the reasons is people are looking for opportunities and ways to be able to work from home. People want to be able to work for themselves, but in many cases, they can't do it unless they're working from home. Network marketing provides a way for people to be able to do that. That's why you're seeing record sales, record recruiting, record growth. The advantage of network marketing especially now, are enormous. No background required, no education required, right? The support is provided. There's a community. There's, all the benefits. It's flexible. It doesn't discriminate. But what it does do is it provides an opportunity for people. And I will tell you, the only 3 things you need to be successful in network marketing, 3 things. You need to be willing to do the work. You need to be coachable. You need to listen to other people that have gone before you and have learned some things and can share them with you. And you need to be hungry. You need to be hungry. If you're hungry enough, network marketing can provide incredible opportunity for you. Hungry, coachable, and willing. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. Okay? So if you're hungry, coachable, and willing, or if you know people who are, it's time to go. I want to introduce you to another friend of mine. His name is Bob Proctor. If you ever saw the movie The Secret, he's one of the prominent figures in that movie. He's been teaching people around the world for decades. And he's another person who is absolutely in love with the network marketing model. And he's here to share some of that with you. His name is Bob Proctor. So check him out.
Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor, the chairman of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And it's a real pleasure for me to be able to take part in this GoPro world tour that Eric Worre is putting on. And you deserve to be congratulated, Eric, for doing this, especially at this time. Sandy Varvel, Eric's executive producer, had contacted me and explained what Eric was doing, and he had asked if I would like to participate. Well, the world is going through such an enormous transition right now. And you'll often hear people say, one person can't change the world. But I'm going to tell you something. One person changed my world 59 years ago. It was in 1961, a man gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, Bob, if you'll do exactly what I tell you and follow the principles that are laid out in this book, he said, you can have anything you want. Now, I'm going to be very honest, I did not believe that. I was unhappy, I was sick, I was broke. I was going in the wrong direction. That man literally changed the course of my life. Well, there's a lot of people mentally that are in the space that I was in October 1961. And I believe you are in the position as a network marketer to help them change the situation they're in. Wallace Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, on chapter 7, on the very first page, he said the entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. Every morning I sit down and I write out 10 things I'm grateful for. I do it without fail every morning. That started a long time ago. That day in October 1961 is a day that I'll never forget because it literally changed my life. We know that the world is going through a change right now. It's a phenomenal change. And there's a lot of people that are wandering around in the mental state that I was in back in 1961. I was scared. I was lost. My whole focus was on myself. That's all I could think about. And Ray Stanford changed that. Now, I've been in this business, as I say, for 59 years. I am frequently asked, Bob, if you were starting over, what would you do? Like that. I give them the same answer every time. I would join a network marketing company. because I really believe the network marketing industry has done more for the world than any other single industry. It will help anyone become an entrepreneur. It will help anyone fulfill their dreams that will follow the rules that are laid down very clearly by everyone that has ever won in network marketing. Napoleon Hill lays them down in Think and Grow Rich. Well, I want to suggest that you're in a position today to help a lot of people. You may be wondering, how are you going to fare out of this whole thing? You're going to do fine if you form the attitude, I'm here now to serve. I'm here now to help, because you've got a phenomenal opportunity. There's all kinds of people losing their work. They're losing their jobs. They're scared. They don't know what to do. I believe you're in the position to help them. Network marketing is without question one of the most incredible concepts that ever come down the pike. Anyone with a little bit of ink and a couple of dollars like that, and they're in business for themselves. It's a phenomenal opportunity. Think of this for a moment. If we let the sand in this glass represent our life, the sand in the top of the glass represents the future. You know, if you just hold my book up there, you don't know how much sand you have left in the top of the glass. We do know what's in the bottom. That's the past. It's gone. When I was a little kid, my grandmother used to always be saying, I'll soon be gone, dear, I'll soon be gone. Well, you know, it got to a point where we thought Grandma was never going to go. Grandma thought she only had a little bit of sand in the top of the glass. Turned out she actually had a lot. She would have been around 60 when I remember starting to hear that. Grandma didn't leave us till she was 94, and the angels just came and took her away one night. She thought she had a little, she had a lot. Now, I jumped around with another young guy named Bob Yates when I was 16 years old. If you had asked Bob how much time he had left, he'd say at least half a century. Bob didn't have a half an hour. He was coming into Kingston Road Highway in Toronto in his panel truck, hit the abutment of a bridge, and his life was snuffed out. See, we really don't know how much time we have left, but we do know where we are right now. That's all we've got. That's all we can count on is right here, right now. If you will make up your mind that you're going to do the best you can do right now, help as many people as you can. It's not hard to find somebody that's looking for help. The vast majority of the world is scared. They are really afraid. They're looking for direction. They're looking for an opportunity. You've got one to give them. I would recommend anybody go into network marketing. It's such a phenomenal concept. You can become financially independent. I know so many people who are worth millions of dollars today that started with nothing. But someone, the same as Ray Stanford sat down with me with this book, someone came and gave them the opportunity. I want to suggest you do that. You make up your mind right now that you're going to do what you know you can do. Do it one at a time, right now. One person can change the world. One person changed my world. I want to congratulate Eric on what he's doing, and I want to congratulate you on what you're doing. I believe network marketing is the most phenomenal profession that you're going to find. And I'm glad that I work around so many network marketers. This is Bob Proctor. Thank you.
So that's my friend Bob Proctor, and thank you, Bob, for sharing your ideas with us. What Bob would tell you and what I'll tell you is mindset's everything. If you want to be successful in network marketing or in any aspect of life, you have to change the way you think. And the biggest challenge you've got with thinking when you enter into the network marketing arena is most people have been trained to think like an employee for their whole life. And if you want to change your thinking, you need to stop thinking like an employee and you need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. Employees think about work as something to get away from. Entrepreneurs think about work as something to create. It's their passion, it's creation, it's purpose, it's meaning. So they're looking to get to work, not to get away from work. Employees will look for support. Where's my support? Entrepreneurs will create the support. Employees are afraid of risk. Entrepreneurs embrace risk. Employees think about investment as something scary. Entrepreneurs are willing to step in and invest their time, energy, effort, heart, soul in order to be able to create something new. So I want you to think about how you think, because if you sit back in your network marketing career and you think like an employee, you're going to get very, very small results. But if you learn to think like an entrepreneur, that's why I would encourage you, listen to these entrepreneurs. Listen to people like Bob Proctor. Listen to people like Richard Branson. Listen to some of the people we've got coming up for you, some of the people involved in the field and other people, other thought leaders around the world, and pay attention to how they think. Read books about entrepreneurs, right? Listen to interviews from entrepreneurs. Listen to how they think. Start to rewire your mind so you start thinking like an entrepreneur. So our next speaker that we have is a friend of mine, Ivan Tapia. He's an incredible entrepreneur inside of network marketing. He's going to be providing some key training on how you can think bigger, how you can dream bigger, how you can embrace change, and how you can change your life with network marketing. So Ivan, take it away.
Hola, ¿qué tal a cada uno de ustedes? Les saluda aquí Iván Tapia y primero que nada quiero agradecerle a Eric Worre y a toda la familia de GoPro por tener esta plataforma de alto rendimiento, de alto entrenamiento para cada una de las personas de Latinoamérica y de habla hispana con resultados increíbles en la industria en redes de mercadeo. Gracias, Eric, y a toda la familia. Y pues bueno, tengo el gran privilegio y responsabilidad de compartirles a cada uno de ustedes, obviamente, parte de nuestra historia y cómo tú también puedes llegar a cambiar tu estilo de vida y tus resultados gracias a esa tremenda industria en redes de mercadeo. Como siempre lo comparto, redes de mercadeo definitivamente ha salvado mi vida y la ha llevado al siguiente nivel. Todo comenzó en el año 2008, cuando recién perdí mi empleo el 12 de diciembre, ingeniero civil de profesión de la ciudad de Tijuana, México originario. Mi esposa administradora de empresas y también acaba de perder su empleo. Obviamente perdimos la casa, perdimos uno de los dos autos y nos tuvimos que regresar a vivir a la casa de mis padres, junto obviamente con mi esposa, mi niña y mis dos perritos Puss que acababan de tener 5 perritos Puss. Imagínate nada más. Y eso a mí me llevó obviamente a abrir la mente, elevar mi nivel de conciencia y decir, ¿qué más hay? Plan B, plan C, diversificar. Y gracias a un gran amigo que se llama Steven, me agarra y me invita a escuchar una oportunidad de redes de mercadeo. En el año 2009 tomamos la decisión de iniciar en esa tremenda industria. Ahora, para serles sinceros, no fue de la noche a la mañana, fue un proceso en crecimiento, fue un proceso en lograr lo que son los resultados. De hecho, llegamos a tardar cerca de casi 3 años para lograr ganar $1,000 al mes en esta industria. Pero después de ahí entendimos principios básicos, importantísimos, que logró cambiar lo que es mi forma de ver los negocios, mi forma de hacer redes de mercadeo, una forma profesional. Y de hecho, después de 3 años llegar a ganar $1,000 al mes, estábamos hablando de que prácticamente un año después estábamos cerca de $20,000 al mes. Y de hecho fue en un proceso que ya trabajábamos como ingeniero civil otra vez. Entonces te comparto cómo fue el proceso que nos fuimos a $20,000 al mes un año después. Y después de un año estábamos en $100,000 al mes. Y obviamente el día de hoy estamos ganando lo que ganábamos en aquel entonces al mes. Lo estamos ganando prácticamente cada 2 días. Y no te lo digo por presumir ni nada, y mucho menos porque no se trata de eso. El día de hoy, más importante que eso, me da muchísimo gusto y alegría a tanto lo que son ya cientos de personas, arriba de 150, 200 personas aproximadamente en toda nuestra organización que están generando arriba de $10,000 mensuales y entre ellos arriba de 14, 15 personas que están ganando arriba de $100,000 mensuales. Entonces te voy a compartir qué cambió. ¿Qué cambió en Iván Tapia en aquel entonces, en el año 2011, que el día de hoy obviamente tenemos resultados increíbles? Espero que tomes notas de toda esta información. Es información muy básica, pero aplicada todos los días. Y de eso obviamente comenzamos a desarrollar éxito. Mira, para el éxito hay dos cosas, hay dos tipos de habilidades. Una es la habilidad física y otra es la habilidad espiritual. Y la habilidad física son las habilidades técnicas de lo que eso es como invitar, cómo presentar, cómo cerrar, cómo dar presentaciones, ¿verdad? Es aprender cómo ser un profesional, cómo promover eventos, cómo edificar, cómo invitar, etcétera, etcétera. Y las habilidades espirituales son las que no se ven. Es lo que es el desarrollo personal, la mentalidad del éxito. Y eso es lo que te voy a enseñar ahorita el día de hoy. Y lo aprendí de un libro que se llama Piense y hágase rico de Napoleón Hill. Y se llama lo que son los 6 pasos en cómo convertir todo lo que tú deseas en oro. Como si fuera lo que es el toque de Midas. Todo lo que tú puedas pensar y sentir. Imagínate que se haga una realidad. Obviamente la primera vez que escuché esto decía, eso es mentira, no, ¿cómo puede ser realidad eso? Y vamos a comenzar. Paso número 1, que una cosa que yo personalmente tuve que hacer en el año 2011 es definir exactamente lo que yo quería. No más o menos, definirlo exactamente lo que yo quería. Entonces definí, a ver, ¿qué es lo que yo quiero? Y en aquellos momentos, ¿verdad? Como te dije, estuve cerca de unos 2 años desempleados. Agarramos otro empleo como ingeniero civil en el aeropuerto de San Diego. De hecho, tengo un video en YouTube cuando despido a mi jefe, ¿verdad? En aquel entonces, lo que es viernes 13 de julio del año 2012. Pero te comparto que escuché una frase de Jim Rohn que decía, trabaja tiempo completo en tu empleo, medio tiempo en tu fortuna, hasta que tu fortuna sea 3 o 4 veces más que tu empleo. Entonces puse una meta. A ver, si yo gano $6,000 al mes como ingeniero civil, $72,000 al año como ingeniero civil en ese entonces, en ese empleo, en Estados Unidos, con $70,000 en deudas, para lograr eliminar esas deudas, tendría que trabajar como 9 años para alguien más. Pero lo que pasa es que me dije, a ver, ganar lo que son 3 o 4 veces más o menos vendrían siendo $20,000 al mes. Entonces puse una meta exactamente de $20,000 al mes. Ahora, no por el dinero la gente se mueve. La gente no se mueve por dinero. La gente se mueve por lo que va a lograr con el dinero. Entonces yo me puse la meta y dije, a ver, ¿qué voy a lograr con $20,000 al mes? Despedir al jefe, de repente también comprar el carro de mi esposa, que ella quiere, que una Mercedes ML350 en aquel entonces, comprarnos una casa, que no obviamente estamos viendo la casa de mis padres y habíamos perdido la otra casa, ¿verdad? En foreclosure, y luego de repente también nos pusimos la meta de ver unas vacaciones para mi esposa, no habíamos ido a Cancún, no habíamos ido a Venecia. Yo me imaginaba levantándome en la mañana para desayunar con mi niña o cenar con ella, porque yo la verdad no tenía relación con ella más que de noche. No la veía durante el día. Entonces puse eso y te comparto que todos los días mi motor, mi energía, lo que me llenaba era enfocarme en los sueños, enfocarme en las metas. Y te voy a decir cómo obviamente logramos todavía maximizar, el entender, el tener certeza total, claridad total de exactamente lo que tú quieres. Porque si tú no tienes certeza total, si no sabes exactamente lo que quieres, va a trabajar para alguien que sí sabe lo que quiere. Va a trabajar para alguien que sí sabe el carro que quiere, las vacaciones que él quiere, el estilo de vida que él quiere, la casa que él quiere. Y como tú no sabes, va a trabajar para alguien, ¿verdad? Y él te va a pagar, obviamente, para la casa que te alcance, el carro que te alcance, las vacaciones que te alcance. Y yo tomé esa decisión, espérame, yo no puedo depender ya de un gobierno, una economía en aquel entonces, 2008, cuando fue la recesión en Estados Unidos. Adivina qué, hoy está pasando algo muy similar, otra recesión. Y eso te tiene que hacer pensar, significa que va a haber ciclos siempre. Y si va a haber ciclos, tienes que estar preparado para ello. Paso número 2 de cómo convertir todo lo que tú deseas en oro. Escribe exactamente también lo que vas a dar a cambio, lo que vas a sacrificar. Todo sacrificio simplemente temporal, no es por el resto de tu vida. Entonces escribe, a ver, voy a dar a cambio. Yo escribí, por ejemplo, dar a cambio deportes. Me encantan los deportes. No vi 4 años seguidos lo que son las finales de la NBA, las finales de la MLB, el Supertazón, nada de mis deportes favoritos. Por ejemplo, también lo que son carnes asadas, asados, los dejé. Antes era el primero en llegar y el último en irme. Después comencé a ser el último en llegar y el primero en irme. Porque entendía que tenía reuniones antes de ahí o después de ahí, ¿verdad? El siguiente día. Y tenía que levantarme temprano con toda la energía y con toda la fuerza. De repente también teníamos reuniones con amigos. O de repente también nos entreteníamos haciendo diferentes cosas también, como cine, etcétera, etcétera. Y vine que todo lo bloqueé porque dije, espérame, no lo estoy haciendo al nivel que lo quiero hacer. Yo me merezco un estilo de vida 5 estrellas. Mi familia se merece un estilo de vida 5 estrellas. Mi niña, mis papás, mis suegros, mis hermanos, todos se merecen un estilo de vida 5 estrellas. Y alguien tiene que poner el ejemplo. Porque obviamente mientras vas en camino, mucha gente te decía, ay, pero ahí vas otra vez a hacer reuniones, ahí vas otra vez a hacer presentaciones, ahí vas otra vez a entretenerte. Claro que sí, lo tengo que hacer porque tengo una meta definida y puse obviamente mis sueños y mis metas antes de cualquier distracción. antes de cualquier desenfoque. Porque obviamente eso es lo que te va a ayudar a impulsarte y a crecer. Número 3, tener metas definidas. Exactamente qué es lo que vas a lograr. Entonces yo escribí, te lo comparto, escríbelo tú también. En estos momentos, tómate el tiempo. A ver, ¿cuánto vas a ganar este mes? Yo lo escribí, ¿cuánto voy a ganar este mes? ¿Cuánto voy a ganar el próximo mes? Mes tras mes, pues escribía las cantidades que iba a ganar. Mes tras mes, hasta el día de hoy. Sigo escribiendo cuánto voy a ganar, cuánta gente vamos ayudando, cuántos negocios vamos a estar desarrollando, cuánto vamos a estar diversificando. Hasta el día de hoy, todavía hasta el día de hoy, anoto exactamente mes tras mes cómo va a estar creciendo nuestro negocio. Si así lo hacen los empresarios. Número 4, plan de acción. Me acuerdo que en aquel entonces escuché, bien sencillo, asegúrate de estar haciendo 3 presentaciones diarias. Eso significa 90 presentaciones al mes. Eso significa cerca de 1000 presentaciones al año. Y yo dije, ok, si eso es lo que toma, voy a hacer mínimo 1000 presentaciones al año. Y ahí me dijeron, si tú haces 1000 presentaciones en un año, te vas a hacer millonario al año. Significa ganar $1.000.000 al año. Y comenzamos a correr. Te comparto que no fue un año realmente, tardamos un poquito más, tardamos 2 años, pero algo que te puedo decir es que nunca he perdido la disciplina. La disciplina le gana la inteligencia. Entonces, si obviamente mi ritmo de trabajo, la persona que soy demasiado creativa nada más, no, pero soy la persona que tiene una ética de trabajo espectacular y me pongo una meta, me pongo un sueño y no dejo de trabajar hasta que lo logre. Y así de sencillo, despacio que llevo prisa. Y paso número 5, me decían, escribe una meta. Y dice, en los 6 pasos, cómo convertir todo lo que tú deseas en oro. Escribe una manifestación, un enunciado. Y ahí dice, todo se escribe con estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que soy. Y lo escribes, ¿qué es lo que tú deseas? Y entonces yo escribí, ok, yo estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que estoy ganando $20,000 al mes, que tengo la casa de sueños de mi esposa, que tenemos las vacaciones de nuestros sueños, que tenemos tiempo para mi familia, que despedí a mi jefe. Y luego el paso número 6 dice, repítetelo 2 veces en la mañana y 2 veces en la noche. Pero yo escuché, repítetelo 100 veces. Me acuerdo que la primera vez que lo escuché, te voy a ser 100% sincero, no lo creí. No lo creí, yo agarré y dije, repetirlo cuántas veces, hasta lo contaba. Estoy tan feliz y agradecido, 1, estoy tan feliz y agradecido, 2, tan feliz y agradecido, 3. Pero ¿sabes lo que llegó a pasar? Interesantemente, como a las 3, 4 semanas, después de estarlo repitiendo y posiblemente no lo estaba sintiendo al 100, de repente una persona de la nada me agarra y me manda un mensaje de Italia. Me manda un mensaje de Italia y me dice, oye Iván, vi una presentación tuya. Y yo, ¿cuál presentación? Una que yo había grabado, la verdad para mi gusto, un poquito feíta, ¿verdad? Por internet, por YouTube. Y me dijo, me gustó. Y yo, me dijo, sí. Tú me inspiras, quiero entrar contigo. Yo, ¿de dónde me conoces? De Facebook. Yo, de Facebook. Yo casi no tenía seguidores. Me ponían 1 o 2 likes. Mi mamá y mi esposa. Realmente yo decía, ¿cómo puede ser que esta persona le impacté, le inspiré? Y ya le entró y comenzó a correr. Y te voy a ser sincero, la persona agarró y entró al primer mes o al segundo mes, posiblemente abandonó el negocio. Pero te voy a decir lo mágico que pasó. Al siguiente día, después de que se firmó, yo todavía estaba, ¿pero por qué se firmó esta persona? Y me acuerdo que empecé a hacer mis afirmaciones y estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que soy un líder que está ganando $20,000 al mes. Y luego la siguiente afirmación, aquí te va. Estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que atraigo líderes a nivel internacional. Y cuando lo dije, porque lo decía, estoy tan feliz ahora que traigo líderes. Por eso se inscribió este muchacho. Y ¿sabes lo que pasó ahí después de mágico? Dije, ¿sabes qué? Si lo llego a escribir y ahora me lo llego a creer, se va a hacer realidad. Lo que llego a crear en la mente se va a lograr tener en la mano. Y empecé a repetirlo con más fuerza. Y estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que gano $20,000 al mes. Y estoy tan feliz y agradecido ahora que traigo líderes a nivel mundial. Y estoy tan feliz y agradecido que soy excelente líder, excelente presentador. Y estoy tan feliz y agradecido que tengo libertad financiera. Y lo comencé a repetir con tanta energía y con tanta fuerza. Que sabes que todos los días lo repetía, todos los días tomaba acción, todos los días lo hacíamos. Y ¿sabes lo que pasó? Un estilo de vida donde el día de hoy, no solamente nosotros no nos preocupamos por dinero, mi familia tampoco se preocupa por dinero, hemos podido ayudar a mis padres con sus casas, a mis suegros con sus casas, a mi esposa, y tenemos obviamente el día de hoy donaciones a nivel mundial, tenemos negocios en diferentes países a nivel mundial, arriba de 30 negocios, y te lo digo con una sola cosa, tú también puedes. Nunca te dejes que una persona con sueños pequeños te quiera robar tus sueños grandes. Piensa en grande, escucha a tus mentores, escucha a tus líderes, escucha obviamente a tu empresa y vas a tener resultados fuera de serie. Y te quiero dar estos 4 consejos que son bien importantes para que tengas éxito increíble. Número 1, sé enseñable. Asegúrate de ser una persona 100% enseñable. Todo lo que te diga tu mentor y tu coach, hazlo al pie de la letra. Número 2, tener un mentor que tenga los resultados, no el conocimiento nada más, los resultados que tú estás esperando tener en esta tremenda industria en redes de mercadeo. Número 3, asegúrate de ser una persona que tenga sueños grandes, ambición. Sueña en grande, imagínate cosas en gigante, ¿verdad? No ponga los pies sobre la tierra nunca. Y número 4, asegúrate de estar siempre dispuesto a hacer cambios. Si no cambias, nunca podrás lograr todos los resultados que te puedas imaginar. Así que de mi parte es todo. Felicidades a cada uno de ustedes. Les saluda a ustedes Iván Tapia y un fuerte abrazo a la distancia. Gracias a todo el equipo de GoPro. Muchas gracias.
Well, thank you, Ivan. I appreciate you very much. I think you're awesome. Thanks for that great training. And from that, I don't know if you've ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Brendon Burchard. Brendan is a key figure in the personal development movement. He's written several New York Times best-selling books. He loves the network marketing profession, and he also wants to talk about finding someone or something to fight for. And that's what we do inside of this network marketing profession. So I wanted him to share just a quick, brief clip with you, just 3 minutes from Brendon Burchard, but I think you're going to get tremendous value. So check it out, Mr. Brendon Burchard.
Please listen. You must find something to fight for. You got to find somebody to fight for. You won't fight for yourself. You fight for somebody else. Let that drive hit your heart. You find somebody. Somebody needs you to go to the next level. Somebody needs you to make that next call. Somebody needs you to get that next check, whether you feel like compelled to do it or not. Somebody out in that world needs you to be here, to be fully present, to learn, to put it into place. Because if you'll do it for them, you'll change yourself and you'll reach the best of who you are. And sometimes you need someone to fight for, somebody who is there, who's pulling you. You got to find somebody or something to fight for, to lift you out of bed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even when you don't want to do it. Here's the ultimate challenge. For those of you who are here, you're already good. You're already good. You're probably the ones in your family who are a little bit more crazy than everybody else, who tried a little bit harder or believed in your dreams just a little bit more, even though they said you're crazy, you kept going for it. You're probably that person who studied more personal development than your friends or your family. You're probably that person who's already into education. It's one reason you're here, because you know the transformation that can happen right here. You're probably already a little bit of that person who's got fire and will inside. You've got a little bit of that. The issue is your story sometimes goes like this, and you're looking for that. I've been there. I'm so struggling, like I'm doing everything right. You know, I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm making the calls. I'm sending the emails, making the videos, shaking the hands, following the dream, having the hope, doing my gratitude journal every night. Thankful, joyous, doing everything I can, but I wasn't breaking through, and it was driving me crazy. When you leave this event in a few days, when you walk out that door and you walk out these doors, remember, seek clarity, generate energy, raise necessity, increase your productivity, develop influence by challenging people to be better versions of themselves, and step into the unknown and just listen. Be with it. Listen through the fear. Do that, my friends, and not only will you lead yourselves, you lead your teams, you lead this industry. You got to have the necessity inside that says, I want to be excellent at this. And if you got that inside, then tell you what, wake up on Monday, my friends, and when you do walk out these doors, and you walk out the doors of your homes and organizations for the rest of your lives, do me a favor and go earn this. GoPro.
Thank you, Brendan. I appreciate it very much. You're my brother, and thanks for bringing value as always. Now listen, before we move forward, I want to talk a little bit more about mindset, because it's such a big deal. mindset. One thing I would encourage you to do is let go of being perfect. Let go of perfection. Just be willing to be a little bit messy while you're trying to figure out this network marketing journey. If I've learned anything, it's most of the learning is in the doing. And you need to do it before you're prepared. It's just go out there, be willing to maybe make some mistakes. Don't treat yourself so seriously. Be willing to maybe even be embarrassed. Don't treat yourself so seriously because you're going to learn from every experience. Most people don't succeed in network marketing because they don't take action, because they don't feel prepared. So they're stuck. They're paralyzed. I would just encourage you to take some steps forward before you're ready, to get the course before you're ready, to learn the skills before you're ready, to talk to somebody, to talk to a prospect before you're ready, to go try to sell a product before you're ready, right? Let go of perfection. Be willing to be messy. Most of the learning is in the doing. Now, the next presenter is another network marketing leader. I'm probably not going to get the name right, but I'm going to try anyway. It's Yothi Varveropoulos. And Yothi's going to talk about 4 pillars of network marketing. And I know you're going to enjoy it. So check out Yothi.
Saludos, placer saludarte, tener la oportunidad de compartir contigo el día de hoy en este magno evento que tenemos en Latinoamérica y en el mundo para toda la habla hispana. Mi nombre, Yothi Varveropoulos, para servirte. Realmente un gran honor, un gran placer tener esta oportunidad. Le doy las gracias a Dios por estar aquí presente con ustedes, por tener este espacio. Indudablemente al señor Eric Worry, a todo el team de GoPro por este espacio, por esta oportunidad. Y realmente pues agradecido porque me permite cumplir con parte de mi propósito, que es contribuir a la mayor cantidad de personas posible. Te cuento brevemente mi historia antes de entrar en la información que te quiero compartir el día de hoy. Yo soy contador público de profesión, trabajé pues como por 5 años en una firma de auditores externos, renuncié para montar un negocio propio porque no quería ser empleado toda mi vida. Sin embargo, llegó un punto en mi negocio que me sentía esclavo del mismo. O sea, los dolores de cabeza de los negocios tradicionales, si tienes un negocio tradicional quizás me entenderás, fuertes dolores de cabeza. Yo desconocía que existiera algo diferente. En ese mismo punto, mi esposa, también contadora pública, estudiamos juntos, trabajaba en una empresa como gerente, pero ella se sentía esclava de ese empleo, tenía que pedir permiso hasta para ir para el dentista. O sea, todas estas cuestiones que uno como empleado sabe que uno está limitado, y de igual forma, uno como dueño de negocio tradicional, todas las limitaciones y todos los amarres que uno siente. Y queríamos, aparte, tener hijos. Y eso nos hacía sentir a nosotros que sí teníamos ingresos, pero no teníamos el tiempo como para lo que queríamos disfrutar en ese futuro cercano. Y por eso el tiempo nos fue llevando a conseguir la solución, que fue la oportunidad de negocio en network marketing desde el 2012. Mi esposo y yo ya tenemos 8 años como networker, haciéndolo de forma profesional. Y esto cambió nuestras vidas 180 grados, y pues lo que hoy vivimos y sabemos que vamos a vivir más adelante es algo tremendo. Ahora, el día de hoy, pues tengo un tiempo extremadamente corto. Quisiera contarte un poco más, pero hoy quiero compartirte 2 cosas importantes. Quiero hablarte de temas que son de fondo. Si es primera vez que lo escuchas, pues seas consciente de ello. Y si ya lo escuchaba antes, quizás recordar o adentrarte en algunos detalles que quizás nunca habías visto de esa misma manera. 2 cosas principales. La número 1 es que nuestro trabajo es conectar con las personas. Eso es lo que nosotros nos dedicamos. Mucha gente se equivoca en tratar de ser un vendedor, y hasta para la visión, para muchas cosas uno habla de vender, pero la realidad es que lo que uno debe enfocarse en hacer es conectar. Conectar con las personas que están buscando resolver un problema o una gran necesidad. ¿Cuáles son esas necesidades principales que están allá afuera? Y quiero darte estos elementos como para que lo tengas en cuenta a la hora de estar conectando con nuevos prospectos, con amistades, con familiares. ¿Qué es lo que tienes que estar pendiente de sus necesidades? ¿Cuáles pueden ser esas necesidades que ellos tengan? Principalmente son 4. Recompensa, reconocimiento, libertad y esperanza. O alguno de esos cuatro, o los cuatro en conjuntos. Piénselo, toda persona está allá afuera buscando quizás producir más dinero. Muchas personas allá afuera están sintiendo la gran necesidad de ser reconocidos por su valía, por quienes ellos son, pero que no están siendo reconocidos donde se encuentran. Muchas personas se sienten que tienen recompensa y reconocimiento, pero no se sienten libres. Ese era el caso de mi esposa y el mío. Y mucha gente está desesperanzada, mucha gente está sin norte, sin saber qué hacer, necesitan un cambio en su vida y pues definitivamente si tú logras en el proceso de conexión con estas personas, de entrar en una escucha activa realmente, o sea, la forma hay millones, hay formas para prospectar por redes sociales, las personas que tú conoces, en el día a día, por internet, de forma presencial, muchas personas te van a hablar de las formas. Y eso es buenísimo porque es la forma de hacerlo, pero lo importante es la esencia con la cual tú buscas activamente escuchar e identificar esa necesidad. Una vez que la identificas, es simple, es educarlo a cómo con tu oportunidad tú le vas a poder ayudar a resolver ese problema. Esa es la clave. Ya en un seguimiento, en un proceso, cuando uno dice que hay que educar al prospecto, es educarlo no solamente de lo que es nuestra oportunidad, sino cómo nosotros le podemos resolver su necesidad. Bien. Ese es el primer punto que quiero recomendarte, recordarte, o que lo tengas presente a partir de ahora si es la primera vez que escuchas de esto. El segundo tiene que ver, ya me voy a entrar en esto, espero que no te hayas distraído con esto que ya está escrito, le pedí a mi esposa que me colaborara porque mi letra es terrible, para quienes me conocen saben que es así, y gracias a mi esposa por apoyarme con esto, para tener más tiempo en la información que te estoy transmitiendo. Hay cuatro pilares que te permiten a ti construir de forma sólida tu negocio. Uno de ellos es la capacitación. Los otros tres son la promoción, la edificación y la duplicación. Estos pilares son las columnas con las cuales tú debes construir día a día tu negocio. Es simple, mis amigos. O sea, si tú quieres construir tu torre de libertad financiera, si tú estás construyendo un edificio, tú sabes muy bien que hay muchas cosas alrededor, ladrillos, ventanas, las fachadas, ascensores, hay un millón de cosas alrededor de una torre, y hay materias primas indudablemente, pero si tú no construyes las columnas, puedes ir levantando ciertos pisos, pero llegar a un punto que ese edificio ¿qué? Se va a caer. Mi amigo, mi amiga, si tú estás construyendo una organización, un equipo de trabajo, y tú no estás trabajando continuamente, conscientemente estos cuatro pilares, hay una alta probabilidad que al corto, mediano plazo, eso que estás construyendo se te derrumbe. Es así de simple, son elementos técnicos de nuestro negocio. No me puedo adentrar en los cuatro. Edificación es simplemente conectarte con los valores y con los elementos que tú ves positivos en una persona, pero la clave en esto es que en transferir la confianza entre tú y esa persona. Sí, esa es la clave de la edificación, pero obviamente hay mucha profundidad en ello. La promoción es saber cómo promover efectivamente los eventos, las cosas que tienes a tu disposición. No es informar, es promover. Hay una gran diferencia. Y la duplicación es transferir los conocimientos que tú tienes. Todo lo que tú hagas se transfiere. Lo que hagas y lo que no hagas. Bien. Ahora, ¿qué quiero compartirte yo? Algo que mi esposa y yo hemos sido muy constantes y muy fuertes en esto. O sea, en nuestra organización, si algo nosotros hemos dedicado, es en trabajar la capacitación. Pero no la capacitación desde el cómo, perdón, desde el qué. Porque con qué tú te capacitas es lo que normalmente uno escucha. ¿Con qué me capacito? Con libros, con audios, con talleres, con eventos en live de Instagram, eventos presenciales, seminarios, convenciones. Eso es con qué te puedes capacitar. Pero ¿cómo lo haces? ¿Cuál es tu estructura de decir, ok, en cómo me voy a capacitar? ¿En qué me enfoco? Esto es lo que nosotros aplicamos. Nosotros aplicamos una filosofía desde el 2014 que la denominamos cuadrante de ser ganador. Nos apalancamos en lo que es el cuadrante del flujo del dinero de Robert Kiyosaki, el cuadrante izquierdo, el cuadrante derecho, muy seguramente la mayoría de ustedes lo conocen. Pero ¿cuál es la clave en esto? En cuáles son las inteligencias que un empresario, un gran empresario, tradicional o networker, tiene en su haber, en su ser. Y son distintas inteligencias, desde la profesional, la emocional, la financiera y la espiritual. Si tú te das cuenta en el cuadrante izquierdo, cuando uno es empleado, normalmente la inteligencia que predomina es la profesional. Cuando uno es autoempleado, indistintamente cuál es tu profesión, la que tú más necesitas la emocional, o que montas negocios propios y yo por lo menos monté un negocio propio que no tenía nada que ver con la contaduría, tenía que ver con la distribución de pacas de heno, imagínate. Pero, oye, cómo manejar tus clientes, tus empleados, tus socios, en fin, las emociones son fundamentales. Pero para poder convertirte en un empresario del lado derecho, un dueño de negocio con sistema, tienes que manejar una inteligencia financiera, los sistemas financieros, qué es un ingreso residual, cómo construir sistemas de negocio. Hay unos elementos claves para que tú puedas ampliar y aumentar tu abundancia financiera. Y hay algo que es fundamental también, y es que las personas que tú logras identificar que han avanzado en una gran medida es porque han logrado conseguir cuál es su propósito de vida, cómo contribuyen en el mundo. Y esto tiene que ver con quién tú eres, o sea, con tu ser, con tu esencia. Esto tiene que ver con aumentar tu inteligencia espiritual. Olvídate de religión, no te estoy hablando de religión. Te estoy hablando de espiritualidad, de esencia, de tú como ser, como individuo. Cuando tú estás claro quién eres, por qué estás aquí y qué vas a hacer con tu vida, entiendes que hay un propósito mayor a lo individual, hay algo colectivo. Cuando eres consciente de eso y ya tú sabes quién tú eres, tú empiezas conectado con estas otras 4 inteligencias a desarrollar liderazgo, que es influencia. Cuando tú aumentas todos estos niveles, generas influencia. Entonces piénsalo. Eres el networker, tienes que aprender de todos los elementos del network marketing. Mi error al principio era pensar nada más en que había que capacitarse con cosas de network marketing. Es una de las inteligencias profesionales, pero necesitas manejar tus emociones, las finanzas y tu inteligencia espiritual y leyes elementales del liderazgo. Te recomiendo las 21 leyes irrefutables del liderazgo de John C. Maxwell, que son muy buenas en este sentido. Pero lo que te quiero transmitir con todo esto es que nuestra estrategia es capacítate de forma equilibrada. O sea, una información, sea libros, audios, talleres, el cómo es este, el con qué puede ser todo lo que te dije anteriormente. Pero busque que sea de forma profesional, de temas emocionales, de temas financieros, de temas espirituales, de temas de liderazgo. Creas una mesa sólida, o sea, son 5 patas con un centro muy sólido para poder soportar esa gran organización, ese gran individuo que tú eres y ese que te permitirá a ti construir esa gran organización, porque soportarás el peso de lo que eso representa. Con esta estrategia que nosotros nos capacitamos, con esta estrategia que nosotros le damos a nuestro equipo una guía de cómo capacitarse con todo lo que hay allá afuera y con todas las informaciones que hay. Me gustaría transmitirte muchas más cosas, pero el tiempo es bastante corto. Simplemente quiero decirte gracias por escucharme. Espero que hayas tenido algunas herramientas que te hayan servido para tu crecimiento. Y de mi parte, pues una vez más, gracias a todo el team de GoPro. Estamos a la orden. Dios los bendiga. Hasta luego.
So thank you very much, Yothi. I appreciate that very much. I know you're getting value from this because this is great information. If you're paying attention, I hope you're filling up notebooks. I hope you're getting all these ideas. Success leaves clues. Make sure that you're gathering this information. And I will tell you, we're going to take a quick break. But before we do, just let me tell you that in the next hour, you're going to hear from Armando Christian Perez, aka Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. You're going to hear from Carlos Parra. You're going to hear from Pete Vargas. And you're going to hear from Ada Caballero. Some amazing leaders, some amazing information. But before we do that, let's just take a quick break. You can go to the bathroom, get something to drink, get something to eat. Come back in just a few minutes, and we'll keep going with the GoPro World Tour.
honest. I'm just being honest. I'm seeing pretty things. I'm living out my dreams. I'm shooting all my shots. I'm thriving on the bars. I'm seeing pretty things. I'm living out my dreams. I'm shooting all my shots. I'm thriving on the bars. Say hello, 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 hello. Say hello, 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 hello. Say hello. I said
Hey everybody, welcome back to our second hour of the GoPro World Tour, the Spanish-speaking edition around the world. Hope you're getting value. I know you are, because this information is really, really awesome. So we've got an action-packed hour. I've got lots of different people going to be sharing ideas with you, so let's just jump right in. One of my people who became dear friends is a global entertainment icon. This guy is an entrepreneur, he's an entertainer, he's a writer, he's a producer, he's a performer, he's a philanthropist, he's started charter schools around the world, he's a brand ambassador for lots of different brands. His name is Armando Christian Perez. Most of you know him as Pitbull, aka Mr. Worldwide. He took his life from negative to positive. He's just an unbelievable guy, and I'm proud to know him. We've had him speak at our events in the past, and I want to show you a brief clip from Mr. Armando Christian Perez. Pitbull.
My father, he won the lottery in Cuba. No money, he won freedom. They said, forget about anything that you got a chance to get out of here. That's basically what happened in my father's journey. Then he ends up in Miami, and he's a part of where I first seen entrepreneurship at its finest. He's a part of the drug game in Miami. That's when I first seen what entrepreneurship was. This is where I seen guys take nothing and make something. A lot of them didn't understand the journey. A lot of them didn't understand that drug money comes quick, leaves quicker. That's what allowed me to deal with the music game. Because my product is the same thing as, I got to make sure you guys get hooked one way or another. Yay or nay, and the product's got to be good. I can't give you something that's stepped on. So I took all those negatives that happened in my family and I applied it to music. Now applying it to music allowed me to understand the opportunity that music would give me, because music, I go again, it's the same game. Only thing music gives you that's even worse than any drug that you could possibly push in the streets is this other drug called fame. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with fame. So as an entrepreneur, the minute that you think you are who you think you are, game over. You got to stay humble. You got to work hard. You got to stay focused. You have to want other people to grow around you. You can't keep people down and try to take credit for what other people do. You're just going to stay stagnant. You won't grow. Well, that's the music business. My whole career has been a no. My whole career has been a can't. My whole career has been a won't, shouldn't, wouldn't, never happen. It's happening right now as we speak with the records that I put out, which I love, by the way. I love to be challenged. I love to be knocked down. I love to get back up. I love to fight. I wake up for that. And no matter what level you get to in life, you can never become complacent or comfortable, because complacency is the cousin of death. I love to be up here and be able to speak about all the things that I've been through, all the failures, which I always say failure is the mother of all success. All the losses, and I say losing is only learning. Failure is only opportunity, and there's no problems, only solutions. If you can apply that to everything that you do daily, not only in business, but in life, oh man. They say the sky's the limit, right? No, sky's not the limit because there's footprints on the moon. You can take it there.
So that's a little message from Pitbull. What a great guy. What a great leader. What a great entrepreneur. He also loves network marketing, loves the people involved in it. One of his favorite moments when we did our GoPro Recruiting Mastery, every time I talked to him, last time we were hanging out was in Germany. He and I were doing an event with Tony Robbins in front of 45,000 people last summer in Germany. And we went out to dinner afterwards, and he talked about this moment at GoPro Recruiting Mastery. We had problems with our translation headsets. Some of you may have been there. And we were translating into Spanish, but all of a sudden the Spanish translation went out. And people were whistling, hey, we can't understand, we can't understand. And he was talking. So finally he just said, screw it. And he just talked in Spanish to that crowd. And everybody just went, ah. Everybody went crazy. And it made him so excited to have the moment with the Spanish-speaking audience at GoPro that literally him and his road manager talk about it every single time. So anyway, obviously he's an ambassador for all Spanish-speaking, the whole Latino marketplace around the world, and all Spanish-speaking people around the world. Anyway, great guy. Our next speaker is Carlos Parra, great friend, top leader inside of network marketing. He wants to talk about how he's remained connected during this time of global crisis. It's a great training. Check it out. Carlos Parra.
Hola familia, es un placer saludarlos. Felicidades por conectarte, por seguir este camino de emprendimiento y ser parte de la solución que nuestro mundo requiere. Voy a compartir contigo algunos tips que nos han ayudado a tener un crecimiento importante con todas estas nuevas reglas. Primero que nada, mantén sana tu visión personal. Si tienes miedo o duda por todo este cambio económico y piensas que no hay dinero y que la gente no va a poder y que todo va a ser más difícil, entonces tu negocio se va a empezar a frenar. Y lo tendrás más difícil, y eso alimentará el miedo, y eso frenará aún más tu negocio, y se pondrá más difícil, y eso dará fuerza a tu duda, y es una espiral negativa, y además es una espiral equivocada. Porque puedes estar seguro de la mega oportunidad que tenemos y darte cuenta que este es el mejor momento en la historia y en tu carrera, y no lo puedes dejar pasar, e inyectar toda esa energía a tu equipo. Date cuenta que hoy hay más dinero que nunca circulando en el mundo. Entre todos los países, en los últimos meses fabricaron 1 millón de millones de dólares. Lo voy a decir más lento. 1 millón de millones. Las personas que dependen de los negocios que están cerrados, claro que no están viendo ese dinero y lo están pasando mal. Porque la gente no está comprando más en esas tiendas. La gente ahora está comprando en los negocios que funcionan por internet. Hay todo un nuevo comportamiento de compra. Y si bien es cierto que existe una situación complicada, no todo el mundo está viviendo una situación complicada. Solo aquellos que no tienen manera de trabajar desde su casa tienen problemas financieros. ¿Qué es mucha gente? Sí. Por eso, hoy más que nunca, la gente necesita emprender. Pero como nunca lo ha hecho, no sabe ni qué hacer ni cómo hacerlo. Y ahí es donde entras tú. Este es el momento de mayor reclutamiento de distribuidores en la historia de tu organización. Y eso nos lleva al segundo punto. Somos la esperanza para la gente. Robert Kiyosaki, en el último GoPro en el que participó, dijo que la esperanza para la próxima crisis estaba en el network marketing. Bien, esta es la próxima crisis y tú eres la esperanza. Los líderes de network marketing son los únicos con la capacidad de entrenar y ayudar a poner en marcha a miles de personas con un negocio serio por menos de $1,000. Así que levántate y toma acción que el mundo te necesita. Vamos al tercer consejo. Mantente en contacto con tus líderes. Puedes ver a tu equipo en actividad y movimiento y no tener idea de lo que está pasando por sus mentes. Igual que un virus, la negatividad es altamente contagiosa y enferma la visión, y su efecto es adormecedor y paralizante. Tu equipo está rodeado todos los días de gente asustada, hablando de escasez, que es difícil, que no se puede, y es posible que esa negatividad entre en ellos y empiecen a quitar el pie del acelerador. Lo que nosotros hicimos fue aumentar nuestras llamadas personales con algunos líderes y encontramos varios nudos mentales o emocionales que no sabíamos que estaban ahí y los pudimos desenredar y reconectar la visión. Y esto lo estamos haciendo ahora de manera constante porque esos nudos son como los cables de los audífonos. Si los desenredas, pero al momento de seguir trabajando se van a volver a enredar y con ellos se enreda su visión, su mensaje, su energía y su grupo. Pero después de afinar su visión, vimos que su actividad y productividad aumentó como en 20%. Siguiente consejo, adoptar el cambio en la forma de trabajar. Hay personas que lo resisten y otros que lo aprovechan. Veo gente todavía tratando de visitar personas a sus casas o sentados, esperando el momento de llenar salones nuevamente. Y veo otros que han tomado tanta ventaja del cambio que no quisieran que la cuarentena terminara nunca. Adaptarse al cambio. De Eric Worre, aprendí a programar mi calendario 18 meses por adelantado. Mi 2020 completo estaba tapizado de giras visitando distintas ciudades cada fin de semana. Luego vino esta nueva situación, se cancelan los vuelos, se suspenden los eventos. De inmediato comenzamos a adaptarnos y a mover todo a internet. Lo que hicimos fue que las citas personales las movimos al Zoom y los eventos y entrenamientos por Facebook Live o YouTube Live. Lo sorprendente fue que con el nuevo cambio del nuevo programa en línea, en menos de 45 días, habíamos trabajado con todas las ciudades que pensábamos ver a lo largo del año. Y alcanzamos más gente, porque se conectaron personas de poblaciones que no estaban programadas en las giras. Y la gente de las poblaciones más alejadas y de los grupos más pequeños ahora tienen conexión directa con sus líderes de grupo y se están desarrollando mucho mejor. Ante este cambio, veo 3 comportamientos en los grupos. Los paralizados, que esperan que todo pase y vuelva a lo que era antes para entonces seguir trabajando. Esos grupos se empiezan a desinflar. Los que siguieron el cambio, pero no apretaron el paso ni aflojaron tampoco. Sus negocios generan lo mismo que otros meses. Y los que creyeron que tienen la solución, que ven la oportunidad y que entraron en acción como nunca antes y que han logrado en 3 meses más de lo que habían logrado en 2 años. Y eso me lleva al siguiente consejo. Construir un negocio en línea. Nosotros iniciamos un programa para educar a la gente a utilizar los medios digitales, desde descargar, instalar aplicaciones hasta cómo pueden conectarse. Mucha gente no estaba envuelta en cómo usar la tecnología y cuando la gente no está acostumbrada a usar las funciones del teléfono o la computadora, puede llevarte 30 minutos enseñarle qué hacer y cómo hacerlo. Y hablar sobre educar a toda una organización pareciera una tarea titánica, pero si cada persona que sí le entiende cómo hacerlo le enseña a 5 o a 10, puedes educar a toda la organización en cuestión de algunos días. Otra clave de los negocios en línea está en provocar la actividad de forma constante para hacerle más fácil a la gente de nuevo ingreso a través de eventos y herramientas para que simplemente puedan acercar invitados y crecer mientras aprenden. Algunos grupos que antes tenían un evento en salón por semana, ahora tienen presentaciones de oportunidad cada 3 días. Otros grupos tienen oportunidad de presentar diario y eventualmente programan campañas especiales de actividad intensa, campañas de 7 días, de 10 días. Las campañas pueden ser sobre lograr un rango, o promover un producto, o promover un evento, o una meta de equipo, o simplemente generar historias. Y bien, luego de las presentaciones, quiero darte un punto sobre manejo de objeciones. El dinero. La gente tiene miedo a gastarse lo último que tienen y tienen razón. Con la incertidumbre no saben cuándo volverán a tener algo. Ahí debes explicar por qué tu producto tiene una verdadera utilidad. Pero aunque sea de alta calidad, para ellos sigue siendo un gasto, a menos que lo vean como una opción para multiplicar ese dinero. El miedo es entendible, no conocen el negocio y es un riesgo. Y ahí tenemos que ser muy responsables en hacer un compromiso sincero en ayudarles a poner su negocio en marcha. Porque pondrán su confianza en ti, no en la empresa. Recuerda que la gente participa en las empresas, pero se asocia a las personas. Hace el compromiso de ayudarle a vender los productos y poner su negocio en marcha para recuperar, multiplicar su dinero y salir adelante. Y si siente ese respaldo, estará dispuesto a poner su dinero o conseguirlo. Debemos ayudar al mundo a salir de esta crisis. Es urgente llegar a más personas, apoyarlos y trabajar juntos. Porque, sinceramente, creo que quien no tenga la manera de generar dinero desde su casa, se le vendrá una temporada muy difícil. Ganar dinero desde la casa se está convirtiendo en una necesidad y en el nuevo normal. Y debemos mostrar a la gente que pueden o comer algo con su último dinero o pueden multiplicar ese dinero. Es como si solamente les quedara una gallina y decidir si la hacen caldo o usarla para poner huevos, es decir, multiplicarlo. Y por último, uno de mis consejos favoritos, promover eventos. La publicidad básicamente es mantener una idea constantemente en la mente de tu cliente. Los eventos es nuestra mejor forma de mantener al equipo conectado y exponiéndose a nuestra visión, sean inscritos o sean prospectos. Conectados hasta que decidan inscribirse. Luego, conectados hasta que decidan ponerse en actividad. Y después, conectados hasta que decidan irse realmente a lo grande. Y enviar un WhatsApp no es promover, eso es avisar. La gente tiene que escuchar tu emoción. Puedes hacer un video invitándolos a algún evento, pero llamarle a las personas, nunca nada será tan poderoso como una llamada personal. Que sienta que él o ella es importante para ti. Pero no llamadas fastidiosas como si vendieras tarjetas de crédito diciéndoles, nada más te hablo para recordarte el evento. No. Una llamada donde aportes el valor del evento para decirle por qué le conviene, edificar al orador, edificar el contenido, darle la importancia de lo que va a recibir y el beneficio que viene luego al aplicar lo que aprenda. Entre más gente tengas conectada y más veces se conecten a los diversos eventos, tu negocio irá en constante desarrollo. Bien. Yo me despido. Muchas gracias, Eric, Marina y el equipo de GoPro por empoderar nuestra profesión y hacer posible este espacio y darme el honor de esta participación. Ha sido un placer compartir contigo. Sigue invitando, sigue ayudando y sigue llevando este mensaje de esperanza y de luz a una vida mejor y siendo esa agente de cambio que el mundo necesita. Les envío a todos un muy fuerte abrazo y bendiciones.
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that very much. And there's another gentleman, his name is Pete Vargas, who we were introduced to recently. And Pete is an expert on how to tell your story, how each of you can learn how to tell your story more effectively and more powerfully. And he's got a section, a training section that I think you're going to get tremendous value from on learning how you can tell your story inside of network marketing. So without taking up any more of his time, I'm going to take you directly to Pete Vargas.
Hey everybody, Pete Vargas here. My goal right now for all of you is to help you understand how to communicate. How you communicate today looks different than even how you communicated 3 weeks ago. And I want to give you that framework today, whether you're on social, whether you're on a podcast, whether you're on a phone call, whether you're on your team meetings. I want to give you a framework today that I believe is going to help you serve and help a lot of people who need your help today. And I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to Eric and Marina for having me here today. I don't take it lightly, but thank you to the industry. I know you don't know me, but when I was 19 years old, 19 years old, I had to figure out how to pay for my college education. I was broke. I was walking around campus. I just had a really bad crisis happen in my life. And I had made it on college campus, but I didn't know how I was going to continue to sustain college campus. And I'm grateful because network marketing, multi-level marketing got me through college. It's the reason I got through college. I wouldn't have gotten through college without it. I believe it's one of the greatest industries that exists because it gives the average human being on this planet the opportunity to start a business without hundreds of thousands of dollars. But like Tony said in his interview there, for a few $100s. And so what I want to do today is I want to help you understand, and this is my give back to the industry, I want to help you understand how to communicate. What I'm about to teach you, it's the same thing that we showed Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins as we helped them build out their speaking team. It's the same thing that we shared with Grant Cardone and his team that made them license this content that I'm about to share with you. It's the same thing that we've shared with so many of the people that we work with, some of the biggest thought leaders on planet Earth, including Damon John, who was taking notes ferociously as we sat there and helped him understand how to communicate more powerfully. Those are all folks that we work with. And I'm excited to bring this to the tens of thousands of people today, because I believe today, right now, is probably the greatest opportunity in the history of network marketing and multi-level marketing to be able to serve and help a lot of people. But you cannot do it the way that it's been done. Because I'm a part of the industry, I still continue to get recruited on occasion. And the conversation and the communication typically lives in one bucket. And there are 3 ways that you cannot communicate today. If you communicate in any of these 3 ways that I'm about to show you, it will actually do more damage than it does good. And so I want to help you understand how not to communicate with these 3 C's, but ultimately communicate with this C. And so what I want you to know is I shared this story with Eric and Marina, and what I shared with them is one of the things that we were able to do is Grant Cardone. We sat in Grant's office, just like we got the chance to sit at Eric and Marina's house. And Grant's like, this content is amazing. Like, we want to license this. And so they licensed all of our digital resources, and they licensed the workshop. And we were at the very first workshop. And I want you to see this, because this is one of the deadly C's. I was at this workshop, and there were about 30 people in the room, and me and the gentleman that Eric just talked about, Pat Quinn, said, all right, everybody go around and in 1 minute introduce yourself. You got 1 minute. And so everybody started going. And while people are going, I'm seeing how powerful of a communicator they are, because I'm going to give every one of you in the framework where in 3 minutes, you will have people asking you questions and wanting to know more about you, and having you want to go deeper with them here in just a minute. But what happened in that day is people are going around, everybody's going around, and then one young lady gets up, and this is what she says. She said, what if I could show you an opportunity of how you could make more money and lose weight? And a lot of you right now are chuckling across the world, because you're like, yeah, immediate red flag, immediate wall, immediate defense went up in that room. I didn't know it went up, but I felt it in myself. And I hadn't stopped anybody along any line thus far. I hadn't stopped anybody. And I stopped her. And I felt like I wanted to coach her. And I didn't want to embarrass her. And I said, I can't remember her name, but I said, young lady, are you in a network marketing company? Are you in a multi-level marketing company? And she said, yeah. How did you know? How did I not know? That is the way that the majority of people try to recruit me and recruit the world, and immediately a wall goes up, defense goes up, and red flags go up. And we began to reshape it and said, listen, I'm not. And then, by the way, I told her that. I said a red flag went up and a wall went up and the defense went up right away. 29 other extremely successful business owners in that room, all of a sudden, and I didn't know they were going to do this, raised their hand and said, yeah, me too. A wall went up for me too. I was like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I meant to do. My heart was to help coach her. So I said, guys, I want you to see the power of this framework that we're about to coach her in. And so I worked with her. Pat Quinn worked with her. I know you don't know Pat Quinn, but he's a part of our team. And a couple of hours later, we did a 90-minute masterclass with her and the people in the room. And then she came in front of stage later because everybody had to present their 2 to 3 minute talk. I think it was a 3-minute talk. And she started like this. She said, from the age of 5 years old until 12 years old, all I could remember was being bullied and abused for being a chunky little kid. And all my life, I tried to figure out all the things I could do to change that, because it hurt bad. It really hurt. I remember when Billy did this to me when I was in 2nd grade. I remember this story in 6th grade. I remember this story in 9th grade. And nothing worked. I was trying everything. And then she went on to continue to tell the story. And you could hear a pin drop in the room. And you felt goosebumps just like I have right now on my arm. You see, there are 3 deadly C's that I believe in the midst of what's going on in this C, meaning this crisis, that if you fall into these 3 C's, you might get some short-term wins, but it ain't going to be long-term success for you in the way that you communicate. So the 3 ways that I do not want any of you to communicate today, number 1 is what we corrected her on. And what was that? What was she doing? I call it the cheesy communication of network marketing. Eric knows this, Marina knows this. We're on a mission to stamp these 3 C's out, but especially the cheesy communication of network marketing. We are on a mission to stamp that out. So right now, it is not a time to be cheesy or be cheeseball or talk like that. And I think a lot of people who are part of this community, you've learned from Eric and Marina, so you understand that. But I want to reinforce that it is not a time to start being cheesy in your communication. And by the way, good economy or bad economy, I want that to get rid of. I want that to get rid of. So first C that we got to get rid of is that. The second C, and these all came to me. Right now, in this time and age, you feel like you can cut to the chase. That's the second C, cut to the chase. My neighbor lost their job. I've seen tons of people firing or having to lay off people, not fired, but lay off people. And all of a sudden they feel like now is the opportunity. I just got to cut to the chase because I want to help them. And you cut to the chase and a wall goes up immediately again. This imaginary wall that you can't see, she couldn't see, but everybody else in the room felt. And so it's not a time to just cut to the chase. We'll get there, but we can't cut to the chase. That's the second C in this economy that you might be tempted to do. Hey, laid off? Let's talk. No. Laid off? That's why you should have been working at home. No. Laid off? Don't have a job? We can help. Like, let's be really cautious there. Let's be cautious there because that's the second C that maybe gets a little bit of short term, but it ain't going to have long term. And the third C, and this one is super important right now for you to understand. You cannot try to lead with the C, which is cash. Once again, you might be tempted to lead with, hey, cash, 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 cash. No. No. Do not lead with that C. So cheesy, I want no market. Cutting to the chase and cash might work in other markets, but it ain't going to work today. And you're going to turn more people off than you turn them on to what you're doing. And right now, you all have the power in your hand to literally shift what's happening in our world today. You have the power in your hand to help people rise up in the midst of chaos and crisis and fear if you communicate well, if you communicate powerfully. And so what is the C, Pete? Okay, I'm not going to be cheesy. I got to figure this out. I'm not just going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to lead with cash, meaning leading with the financial opportunity. What do you need to do, Pete? Well, let me first give you a little bit of a context of the story, because if you get this story, which was another crisis time just in our nation, which was America, but I know we have people from all across the world, you will understand the C in a very powerful way that you have to use in your communication. You see, what you don't know about me is I had a terrible, terrible relationship with my dad. Awful. Abusive dad growing up to me. My grandmother took me away from him when I was in 6th grade because of the things he was doing to me physically, mentally, emotionally, every which way. My grandmother took me away from him and said, you're never going back to live with your dad. Now you fast forward several years and I'm a youth pastor. I'm 23 years old. I'm bringing in these powerful speakers into my youth group. And one of those speakers that I decided to bring in, his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. Any of you remember that 1999 Columbine? His daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. And she died, and the month before she was killed, she wrote a paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And she had 6 diaries. And in this paper and this ethics that she wrote for her 5th period English class, she said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness will go. Yeah, you might have caught into the sea that I'm going to talk about here for a little bit, but what I want you to know about her is she stood for that in her paper, and her 6 diaries were her life's journey of how she lined up and she actually lived that message out. And so this man comes into my community. He speaks. I'm 23 years old. My dad hasn't said anything to me really about what he had done to me in the last 10 years. He's in this building. He's actually present. He's live. He's watching. I'm thinking maybe this will move my dad to take action and apologize. And at the end of the presentation, after that man, and this is very, very important, everybody, after that man said, hey, parents in the room, you have no idea how long your kids are going to be here or you're going to be on this earth with your kids. I want you to go tell your kids tonight how much you love them. And some of you need to go ask them for forgiveness for something that you've done to them. And literally that night, my dad went and wrote me a letter. He said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here, my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. And he told me he loved me for the first time in over a decade. My wife and I were weeping and we were crying as we read this letter. He took the man up on his challenge and actually went out and did something about it, took action, because the man led with compassion. And he shared his daughter's story of compassion. And now for the first time in my dad's life, after lots of people trying to recruit him to make things right with me, finally, the very first time somebody led with compassion, my dad heard it and he took action. If you want people to take action right now, you have to lead with compassion. You have to lead in this market with empathy. You cannot be driven by the cheesiness or the cut to the chase or the cash. You got to lead with compassion. That is what you got to do right now. And I want to share one more story about him. In 1999, our nation was scared. I don't know if Eric and Marina remember this, but we had a nation that was really scared because we had our first major school shooting. And I'm not comparing it to today, but I'm comparing what I'm about to say to today. Back then, everybody was talking and complaining and scared to death. Parents weren't sending their kids to school, and they were afraid. And everybody was pointing the finger and taking blame and blaming everybody else, and there was all this finger pointing. And this man chose not to finger point. He chose to make a decision to forgive the 2 boys who took his daughter's life. And he went and took this message out to compassion out into the world, which we helped him do. And literally, you fast forward several years and they became the biggest school program in schools across the world, taking this idea of compassion out to the world. Right now, the way that you've got to lead in recruiting more people into your business, because listen, they need in your business. Like, I hope that these next 6 months are the biggest 6 months in the history of this industry. Now, I also hope that the world shifts and changes, but I believe all of the seeds that you plant in the course of the next 6 or 9 months for the rest of this year, leading with compassion, will set you up to be so successful. So successful. Right now, you've got a pace with them before you lead them into your company. What is pace? You got to pace with empathy and compassion right now, because people want to hear that you understand how they're feeling. They want to understand and know that you know what it's like right now to walk in their shoes. And so I want to give you a couple of practical things that you can do before I wind this down and bring Eric back here in just a second. I want to give you a couple of things that you can do. And so we have this proprietary process called the Story Braid Framework. And I'm only going to talk about one piece of the framework, which is the heart. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the framework. I'm just going to talk about the opening heart. Like right now, if you can lock and center in on the hearts of humans and lead with compassion, be the one who communicates with compassion, and you win that heart, they will be in your business. They will be a distributor. They will be a customer, more likely a distributor in today's markets, really. But you got to understand how to communicate. And so it starts by winning their heart. Let me give you a few practical things of how you communicate with compassion to lead and win over their heart. The first thing you have to do right now in this market is communicate in a way that helps people understand that you know what they're going through. Not about your business opportunity, not about your product. Like, man, the world is hurting. They're losing jobs. They're losing their finances. Like, you've got to make sure they understand that they can find themselves in you. Like, that you can connect with their heart immediately. Like, connect with their heart immediately by making sure you're actually real and transparent and compassionate and communicating in a way that helps them understand that you know what they're feeling. People don't care how much you know. They want to know that you care. Maya Angelou has an incredible quote that I love.